How responsive is your Wix site really? Let's compare Wix Editor versus Wix Studio across screen sizes, mobile, tablet, desktop, and see what works best for your design.
Let's take a quick look at how Wix Editor handles layout and responsiveness. In Wix Editor, you'll notice these gray margins on the left and right. They help keep your content centered, but they also limit how wide things can stretch on larger screens. Here's a strip with 2 columns. Each column has its own gray margin too, which keeps everything aligned neatly inside the layout.
Now let's preview how this layout behaves on different screen sizes and point out a few things you'll want to watch for.
Alright, so let's start by previewing this Wix Editor site on a large desktop resolution, 1920 by 1200. As you can see, the content stays boxed in between the gray margins. On ultra-wide screens, that creates a lot of extra white space on both sides. It's clean, but maybe not the best use of the full width. Now here's 1366 by 768, your typical laptop screen size. This is actually where the Wix Editor layout looks the best. The columns are well balanced, everything's within view, and it feels super polished. But on a smaller screen, like 1024 by 600, the content starts to feel a little cramped. The 2-column layout still works, but elements like text and buttons start stacking awkwardly or squeezing together. And on tablets, here's where things get tricky. Wix Editor doesn't give you tablet-specific breakpoints, so you're relying on the desktop scaling down. That might mean uneven spacing or slightly awkward padding. Luckily, mobile gets its own version, and honestly, it performs really well. You can adjust the layout just for mobile and make quick changes like font size, spacing, and hide or show elements. It's beginner-friendly and super efficient.
Now let's switch over to Wix Studio and see how it handles responsiveness differently.
As you can see, there are no fixed gray margins here like in the classic editor. You're completely free to place elements anywhere on the screen. It gives you total control over your layout. I'll click on this section and show you one of the coolest features in Studio. You can set it to always cover exactly 100% of the viewport height, no matter the screen size. That's perfect for full-screen hero banners. When working with stacks, you also get these pinning options. You can dock content to the top, center, bottom, or even set custom padding. It's all about flexibility. And here on the text, check this out. You can choose how your font behaves responsively. Whether you want it to scale proportionally, wrap naturally, or stay fixed, it's all customizable.
All right, let's see how this layout actually behaves on different screen sizes.
Let's start with a wider desktop resolution, 1920 by 1200. Everything looks super balanced here. Our section covers the full viewport just like we set it, and the layout feels spacious but not too empty. Now let's switch to 1366 by 768. Still desktop but a bit narrower. And again, everything adjusts perfectly. Nothing overlaps or gets squeezed. The text scales well, and there's no excess white space on the sides like we saw in Editor. Dropping down to 1024 by 600, a tighter screen size, everything still feels clean and responsive. No parts are being pushed off or stacked in weird ways, which is a big advantage of Studio's scaling options. Now let's go into tablet view. No issues here either. The layout reflows smoothly, the paddings feel right, and the section still fills the screen nicely. And here's mobile. You'll still need to do a dedicated mobile version just like in the editor, but Studio gives you more flexibility and cleaner scaling by default.
So, what's the takeaway? Wix Editor is simple, intuitive, and perfect for most small business websites, especially if you stay within the gray margins and adjust your mobile layout. But Studio gives you full creative freedom, responsive control across all screen sizes, and advanced layout tools. The downside, Studio is built for professionals. It has a steeper learning curve and isn't as beginner-friendly. But if you want precision and flexibility, Studio is the way to go.